Hey there, shiny happy people. Welcome back to our recommissioned subterranean outpost located deep in an abandoned uranium mine just outside the historic community of Tin Cup, Colorado. I just wanted to give you a quick update about what's been going on here the last few months. Long story short, we downsized our stockpile of gaming artifacts and used some of the proceeds to hire Jewel Knight Jess, aka Jessica from PaintSlam.com, to help us with our painting backlog. In particular, we asked Jessica to work her magic on some of our old metal Warhammer, Necromunda, and Void figures, which I was apparently too chicken to tackle myself. So Jessica did a fantastic job, as we knew she would, and I thought you might like to gaze upon some of the completed squads in all their vintage glory. So these figures, some of which I literally purchased in the late 1980s, are things that I really wanted to get painted before my hair turns white, and since I paint very slowly and sporadically, I figured it was time to bring in a hired gun and help move this project along. Shameless plug, if you need some help with your own painting backlog, certainly check out Jewel Knight Jess Mini Painting, which you can access from the PaintSlam.com website. Jessica is based in the UK, but we've been sending her stuff from this side of the Atlantic because she's so darn talented and a good egg to boot. So these are some of my favorite metal sculpts. These are from the Void War games sold by Icor back around 25 years ago. These are from the Junkers faction, and you can get these figures new right now from Seb Games, SEB Games out of Scotland. I think these characters make a great sci-fi urban gang that you might find in an Escape from New York or Mega City 1 type scenario. So we'll be using these on the tabletop very soon. Keep your eyes open for that. So these happy fellows here are a bit of a deep cut. These are Confrontation Ventors, and Confrontation was a pre-Necromunda rule set published in White Dwarf in the early 1990s, that was set in Necromunda, and the Venators themselves were kind of semi-official, peacekeepers, witch hunters, bounty hunters, mutant hunters. And if you think they look a little bit like the old Necromunda Redemptionists that were released a few years later, yeah, they certainly do, which is why we asked Jess to paint them in a Redemptionist color scheme with all those hand-drawn flames, because we're going to use them as such. So part of the plan this year was to kind of thin down the collection and then use some of those proceeds to finish some things I really wanted to finish, and that included this box of metal deluxe from the mid-1990s. When Jessica asked how she should paint these guys, I said, just take inspiration from the original box art, but maybe don't have them standing on grass because they live in a hive city, so they probably don't see a lot of vegetation. Here's another Oldhammer deep cut for you. These are Imperial Beastmen. The guys with the auto guns first appeared as part of the Imperial Army in the late 1980s, and the other guys were part of the Imperial Guard. But I've had some of these miniatures since the late 1980s, so they were long overdue to be painted, and we're very glad Jess was able to do that for us, because now, finally, they can be deployed and go out there and fight for the Emperor. Here's a gang of metal Necromunda scavies from maybe the late 1990s. These guys are going to make a great post-apocalyptic wasteland band, so we're really happy to have them painted up. One of the things we asked Jess to do was to give each gang a distinct base color so that it's easier for us to pick them out on the tabletop once they're running around in cover and stuff like that, because my eyesight ain't what it used to be. And finally, here's my interpretation of the Pirates of the Claw Nebula, a mixed bag faction featured in the Book of the Astronomicon, which was an early Rogue Trader supplement from 1988. I think the idea was that since Citadel didn't have that many Warhammer 40k figures out at that time, that the Pirates faction allowed you to basically just mix and match whatever figures you had from whatever faction you had and make a pirate gang. So that's what we have here, the infamous Pirates of the Claw Nebula. So as I mentioned earlier, my nefarious plan this year involves selling some treasures that I've had for a very long time, and then using the proceeds, the dirty filthy money, to then get some other stuff painted. So in essence, I was whittling down the backlog from both sides, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think the strategy was successful. It just involved making some decisions about what to keep and what to finally let go. So will you see these figures duking it out in upcoming battle reports? Absolutely. We finally restored the gaming room to full functionality. It is not nearly as fancy as it used to be, but at least we have power. Be forewarned, though, the channel is probably going to have to make a brutal pivot in order to stay relevant in today's dog-eat-dog YouTube environment. So big changes are definitely on the horizon. Some people will love them, some people will despise them, and all I can say is we're going to have to lean into what we think we do well and trim everything else away, and hopefully that works, and we can continue to make our quirky toy soldier videos for a few more years at least, until Skynet finally puts us to work slopping up nuclear waste at some atomic-powered mega data center out in the desert. Anyway, thanks for sticking with us during these interesting times, wherever you are. I hope you're hanging in there. Stay cool, watch out for the pesky autonomous war machines, and we will see you on the other side. Peace.